roll call, please.
Mayor Grimminger,
Here.
Alderwoman Codwell. Here. Alderman Couch.
Here.
Alderman John Stupi.
Here.
Alderman Jokers.
Here.
Alderman Donnie Stupi.
Here.
Alderman Hook.
Here.
Alderman Prince.
Here.
Alderman Ross. Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Approve the agenda. I would like to, if it's all right, to bill number 4011. It's up for second reading. I'd like to table that. We want to have some further discussions on that before we do a final vote on it.
And change the date to?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Change the date, certainly.
Move to approve the agenda as amended.
Wait a minute. Second.
Well, now
Somebody
discussion.
second.
Oh, now you,
Did you second?
No, he had a question.
yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
You okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Martin, guess what do you?
Okay, we issued the bids for demolition of the two houses. We received two of them. The lowest one was Sanford Raw. A contract has been prepared. He's looked over it and said it looks good, it's acceptable to him, so it's on the agenda tonight for your approval. As you know, we closed on the building at 5 in Industrial Court. HEVA had already sent us an executed lease. We held on to it until after the real estate closing. It was sent to them. Work is underway. They're moving it, using it to move in some furniture and stuff that they bought. We've made some of the repairs that need to be made. Two things that I think big things that remain is we've got a couple of leaks in the roof that we knew about. I'm in contact with the company that's qualified to repair it. As a matter of fact, they put it on, even though they advised me it was no longer in warranty. And they'll come out as soon as, hopefully, next week, weather allowing. And then we're getting the prices on getting electric separated, a separate meter for the back 30,000 square feet and a separate gas meter so that we can hopefully lease that out and have the utilities separated. The pursuant to our conversation regarding the financing for the capital improvements in water and sewer, I issued a request for qualifications for financial advisors. I got 3 responses, and I passed around earlier in your seats a breakdown of those. The first response, WM Financial Strategies, is $1,000 plus one or the other of the 2 options there. I don't anticipate that we'll be going to a public sale. I think it'll be a private placement. So I think the likely cost of financial advisory services is $4,500. And you see the other 2 who quoted were substantially higher than that. In addition to which, Financial Strategies did some background work and research, which was reflected well in their presentation to us, where the other 2 really just sent in a stock quote without really a lot of, it didn't look like they did a lot of research. So I am recommending, and it's on the agenda tonight for first reading, that we employ WM Financial Strategies for financial advisory services relative to future certificates of participation. Not on the agenda, or will be, if you agree with me on that. It'll be on next week's agenda, for 2 weeks. I met with the Chamber of Commerce. You will recall that the park property was donated to the city of St. Genevieve by the Chamber of Commerce. And there is a restriction in the deed that it be used forever for park purposes, open to the public. And while all of that will be satisfied by our proposed arrangement with the school district. I didn't want there to be any unanswered questions, so I went to the park board meeting. Everybody there was familiar, not park board, the chamber meeting. Everybody there was familiar with the project. There were a couple of good questions, but they passed a resolution authorizing the president of the chamber to sign off on the deed should the transfer occur. And that was the city attorney's recommendation that would be a signature line for them, so the recorded document will reflect their agreement. Those are the major events. Anything I can answer for you?
So we don't know what that roof's gonna cost out there, huh?
I don't know what it's going to cost. We suspect it's the fasteners have worked their way up, and so they're sealed with roofing cement, and that they need to identify which ones they are and put them back in place. He told me he'd been out there and done that before, about 5 years ago, and that it's something that should be done every couple of years. Somebody needs to get up on these roofs and look to see if any of the fasteners have worked their way out, and I suspect it hasn't been done since he was here 5 years ago. But you know, the leaks aren't bad. You know, we know where they are, and they aren't substantial, so there's no gaping hole in the roof or anything. It's just seeping in through some seam or joint.
It's just that we failed to point it out when we were negotiating.
No, we
talked
did.
about that.
It was one of the considerations for getting a
So we
deed.
gave more for it than ever wanted, the original, what the listing was.
No,
I thought the Roth was a lot less. The Roth that had it before, the last realtor.
It was.
Yeah.
But when it changed, the price had changed back in December, but the roof was all talked about amongst us. Whenever we
Well,
talked about
once-
going back to them, the inspectors picked up on that, and we talked about going back. And we did get him to concede some money for the repairs on the building that we had come up with, so we did get a reduction in the price to make those repairs. Anything else? Okay. Dave, I guess you're first.
Good evening. How's everybody?
Real good.
It's not snowing, I mean, not sticking anyway, so. As you look at my report, you know, basically that's what we've been doing, is playing in, not snow, but ice. Seems like the last couple of years we can't get any snow, so. I would like to make a public apology to a lady who called and left a message on the machine that she thought we didn't do a very good job this last snow, you know, because we didn't move the snow away from the sides of the road, but it wasn't snow, it was ice. And, you know, yeah, it did warm up for, you know, a couple of days, but it wasn't enough to where we could push the ice out where traffic would run over it and break it up like snow. So that's the reason why we left the way it was, because for one thing, our equipment's getting old, and we've been welding on it and everything, and it just, you know, the plows are as old as the trucks, if not older. I think we've kept a couple of them from quite a few years ago. So I mean, the metal's getting thin, and, you know, we just, we gotta have them, so. I don't know how tight you guys are, you ain't gonna give me the money, so. But that's basically what we've been doing.
Hey, David, do we have enough salt to make it through the rest of the year?
We have enough salt to make it through this weekend.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, if, the way the weather forecast looks, I think we're gonna be okay. I mean, I've got probably about, anywhere between 80, just guessing is between 80 and 100 tons. But, you know, by the end of this winter, we're gonna be out of salt, so. And that's one thing I'd like to bring up to you too, is that, you know, I know we don't have the money in this year's budget, but, you know, if we can buy it cheaper, if there's any way we can come up with some money, wouldn't hurt to get some before it gets $160 a ton again.
Yeah, hopefully it won't get to be that price again.
Yeah,
Do you know what it is, right, you have any idea what it is now?
right now, no, I don't. You know, because I think we have enough to make it through this winter, so. But like I said, it's gonna be scraping it. I've been using a lot of sand with it, we've been mixing a 50-50 mixture, to make it last, because in fact, the price of it, I didn't want it to, let's run out and have to get a bunch more, so.
It's like buying commodities, you're buying some future price, you don't know. So you could buy it today thinking you're getting it cheaper, and you just never know.
After the season is over, that market will level out, and
You
we'll
would think
know,
it would
we'll know
because
what
they're-
everybody's gonna be
they're-
charging, what everybody's gonna be paying.
Yeah, because you would think that they're all starting to get surplus in right now and started
There's,
building
there's no
reserves.
shortage, there's no shortage of salt,
Yeah.
and we just need to be smart consumers when we buy again.
Anything else for Dave? Thanks, sir.
Thanks, David.
Eric?
Good evening. It's also a pretty short and sweet report, I think. Not much to report. Anybody has any questions? Thank you very much. Yes.
How many miles is on that, Dodge?
It's low, it's 70s, I think, if I
We
remember
put hour
correctly.
meters on those units when we buy them.
No, some of the new ones have come with the hour meters. That's one of the 07s. I
And we
don't,
got a lot more hours than we have
Right.
miles.
Yeah,
And-
right.
and So if you just look at the miles, you think, well, that's not so bad, but man, if you look at the hours, that's
right.
a lot of hours.
There's a lot of idle,
Officers are in those vehicles.
a lot of idle time. They're hard miles,
Yeah.
a lot of stop and start.
Be cheaper looking for one full-time officer.
Yes.
Okay. Do we have any applicants that are good, you think?
We have a couple that are good. We've done some interviews and we're still trying to narrow some down.
Anything else? Okay, thanks.
All right.
Thank you.
You all have my report. There's a couple of amendments to the code violation issues. We have a couple of those properties that still have some issues that we thought were resolved but have also come back to us. So we'll be dealing with those. I don't want to elaborate on the addresses, but you understand. I did want to tell you a little bit more about the work of Bob Bunnell, our new building inspector, and a little bit more information about the information I gave you in the report, because I think it's important for you to know something that's been going on in St. Genevieve if you were unaware of it before. St. Genevieve has a lot of homes for sale, and some of them say for sale on a little sticker on a window. And these homes sometimes are what we call rent to own. And rather than a traditional transaction where you have a real estate agent and a title company and a warranty deed at the end of the day, these are not brokered that way. And the potential buyer puts a little money down, usually they're smaller houses, less expensive houses, and enters into a contract with a company that owns the property. No warranty deed passes to the buyer, rather the rent payments are made out, and at the end of the schedule, the seller then transfers the deed after all the payments have been made. In St. Genevieve, what makes this kind of sale difficult is that the selling company often refuses to make repairs to the home to bring it in compliance with our property maintenance code before the sale. And that's typically when we get those inspections done. And they sell the house as is. Well, of course, it's not really a sale yet, and so the people that are buying it can't occupy it until they actually make the repairs. And those can be from little things to really big things. The house at 1320 is that adorable little cottage up close to 61 on Market. And it had numerous problems. It had been vacant since 2010. It had structural problems, significant structural problems, and a host of other things. And so the selling company had tried to sell the house many, many times. They refused to make all the repairs in order to allow the new people to come in with a valid occupancy permit and up-to-code housing. But the house has been languishing, and, since I've been here, the house sold a number of times. But what has happened is the buyers find out that there is a huge amount of repairs that are necessary. Usually they can't afford them and then they have to walk away, oftentimes losing their deposit. And in some circumstances, in other houses, they make the repairs, but then they can't make their payments and then they lose the property and all of their equity that they've put into it. This particular house, we had a new couple come in, and oh, by the way, and all the buyers that have come through this particular house, we've always been really upfront and honest with them about the condition of the house from a property maintenance standpoint, the structural problems and all the other things that wouldn't pass for there to be proper occupancy. And so it's scared off a lot of people, to be really honest, because the house, I think, sold in the $50,000 range. And so you're talking about an entire wall of foundation collapsing. You're talking about a lot of money for the average folks. And so Bob would go out there and meet with potential buyers or people that had actually put down payment money on the house, and he'd go through this humongous list of things and say, I'll work with you, and most times people had to walk away. But recently we had a couple that came in and they really understood what they were buying. They understood that there was risk involved if they put money into the house and then couldn't afford to make the payments. And they got an engineer, and they actually did a study of the foundation. And Bob worked with them time after time, going over to the house. Let's prioritize all the list of things that needs to be done. And I'm really happy to say that those folks got it all done, and they're now living in the house. And it's a great little house, but it is a challenge for us as a city to, expect people to make these repairs to homes that could be significant, and yet they really may not even own the home yet. And I just thought you ought to be aware. It's not rampant, but it does happen, and I've seen it a couple of times, and we've had some issues, even at the court process. So I just wanted to make you aware of that, and I just really wanted to congratulate Bob because he really worked very hard with these owners, and I hope that they can stay in it. I hope they finish getting through the rent-to-own process because it's a great little house, and I think it's a real addition to our housing family. So,
Good.
I don't know. Do you have any questions?
Thank you.
What's the city got in its business in private transaction?
Good evening.
Steve, you got a little taller.
Yeah, that changed from time to time. Anyone have any questions about our report?
What effect has fixed a couple of leaks here recently that were apparently had been there a while?
Yeah, we're back to running what normal hours should be for this time of year. We're back on track to the amount of runtime we've had in past years. So, yeah, it was a good find. That one under the creek, that was I think it had been leaking some for some time, but it really let go. And that was one we chased for several weeks. But yeah, we're back on track, and hours are right where they should be right now.
Job.
When will they start on that new well? Do you have
Well,
any idea?
if the second reading goes as planned tonight, then they'll get into the engineering for the placement of the well. And Flynn, they're expedient. As soon as they have engineering done, a couple days' work, it'll be ready to go.
Okay.
Can you report on the progress of the SCADA system?
The SCADA system is being built right now. By the end of March, the panel should be completed and be ready to be installed. That panel's a major part of getting the rest of it going. I believe that's the biggest hurdle, is getting the new panel so it can communicate correctly.
I'd like to compliment Alliance. We had some problems with the system, computer problems that were causing us to have to do manual operations there, and instead of getting a contractor to come in and address the problem, staff came from Alliance and was able to do what needed to be done to get us up and running again. Kudos to them, because it could have been an expensive proposition if we'd hired it out.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Are they rebuilding the box for the board too, or is that gonna go in the existing?
The existing box will remain. There is a new board that will be placed inside of it with all the new components attached to it, I believe.
I thought Terry had said something a while back that that box isn't designed for that type of elements that it's suggested to, and that's what caused the board to fail.
Well, there are some discrepancies with the box. There's places where air can get in, which of course lets, contaminants in, and that is going to be addressed with this.
Okay, so
They will be sealed.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you. That report from the fire department.
Right now on,
We're going to talk about it later.
okay.
Okay, Sandra.
Good evening. You have in front of you the summary of the calendar year for visitors through the visitor center, and then you see the bars over to the left there, January. Of course, January last year we had some wicked weather, so we're really pleased that that bar was up as high as it was. And you can see that it even exceeded 3 years ago, which probably was a pretty decent year. So in the month of January, we actually had almost 550 people through the Welcome Center, which was 67% up over last year, but not saying much because last year was such a bad year, but it's probably more significant that it was up over 3 years ago. We continue to sell some passport sales, and I always tell people that typically the passport sales end in November, and someone asked me why that is. It's because several of these homes have no heat, so they don't take people through those in the wintertime, and then we pick up full-blown with the passport sales in April and May. But there are some people who come through and, we tell them about the savings on the passport, and they buy it in the wintertime so that they can return back to St. Genevieve and use the rest of their passport. Outreach, even though this is not a very busy time in terms of visitors coming to St. Genevieve and the Welcome Center, it's a very busy time in terms of outreach. Well, and just locally, I did a presentation on our tourism efforts to the St. Genevieve Chamber Luncheon on February 5th. At the suggestion of a Tourism Advisory Council member, I sent St. Genevieve Visitors Guides and a stack of our new downtown maps to the wrestling tournament and spoke with the athletic director about sending out our information to teams when these large tournaments come to town. Hoping to get, obviously, some restaurant business and maybe even some hotel business. Talked with the Master Gardeners. The hospital's wellness event is coming up this Saturday, and so the Master Gardeners are going to include St. Genevieve Visitors Guides and our upcoming event cards at their table for that. I just, last weekend, represented St. Genevieve Attractions at the Working Women's Survival Show, which is a 3-day conference at the St. Charles Convention Center, and I want to do a huge shout out to the local community members who came to St. Charles and dressed in French colonial costume so that I didn't have to, and to attract people to the St. Genevieve booth. It was very much appreciated. It was a good show, a lot of good exposure. And then I just got back this evening from representing St. Genevieve Tourism at National Geographic, and the whole Mississippi River Valley has a new program coming online called Sustainable Geotourism, and basically that's a fancy word for National Geographic is doing a highlight on the internet about all of the historic, cultural, business, everything, all of the assets that people, families, individuals might be interested in visiting all up and down the Mississippi River Valley. States on both sides and one county-wide strip on both sides of the Mississippi River. So that was really exciting. It was yesterday and today. Earlier this week, I participated in the St. Genevieve Downtown Renewal Projects meetings. I had to cut out from that to attend this tourism meeting, but it was very productive, I think. We completed and launched a new television commercial for St. Genevieve. This one, because it was paid for by the Tourism Tax Commission, they wanted it focused pretty closely on bed and breakfast stays this time of year. And based on some feedback that I got by calling all of the B&B owners on our snow day, it sounded like all of them were full and sometimes even turning people away, especially on Valentine's weekend, but that they've had a good pickup in business since that television commercial, and that people are mentioning that they've seen it. I won't go through a lot of this. I would like to say that, and the Welcome Center also hosted the St. Genevieve Downtown Renewal Project's Chocolate Walk. We were their check-in point and pre-ticket sales, but we were mainly their check-in point on the Saturday of Chocolate Walk. And I think despite the cold and the increased ticket price, that sale or that event was very successful. A lot of good exposure again for our downtown, and there were some businesses that wouldn't traditionally have been a part of the Chocolate Walk, and that was mainly as a result of Kara's efforts and the promotions committee's efforts at signing people up, so there were more places you could get chocolate, which was very important too. So upcoming events this weekend is the first art walk of the year tomorrow night. So brave the cold because it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a Mardi Gras themed art walk. There's going to be various things going on at the Welcome Center. We're going to be giving out Mardi Gras beads, so if you need some Mardi Gras beads, come on out. And I've started meeting with the major event committees, attending their meetings and meeting with their event organizers for 2015. And finally, the program that we started last year called Saturdays in St. Genevieve, where we had little bits and pieces of performers or demonstrators or musicians out on the street corners in downtown St. Genevieve on Saturday mornings. Would like to expand that this summer. And so part of that, well, if you're a musician and you would like to play on the street corners of St. Genevieve this summer, please contact us. But in addition to that, if you would be willing to dress up in French colonial attire, this could be two girlfriends, this could be couples, and you're listening to this, we would love to have you call the Welcome Center because we'd love to sign you up. This will basically be any Saturday between May 23rd and September 15th, so basically Memorial Day to Labor Day. And if you don't have a costume and you don't want to miss out on the fun, call us anyway because costumes are available. So call the Welcome Center at 883-7097. Leave your name and I'll call you back. Any questions?
Thank you.
Any reports from the board? Okay. This time being 7:29, we will open a public hearing. The Mayor and Board of Aldermen will hold a public hearing to consider a request from H&M Goldenberg II LLLP for a special use permit that will allow a portion of the parking lot at 20 Plaza Drive to be used for a fenced outdoor display for sales of fencing materials, pet and livestock equipment, seasonal equipment, trailers, three-point farm equipment, lawn and garden equipment, motorized vehicles, hay and forage for animals, bulk propane and welding gas by potential tenant, Tractor Supply Company. Some portion of the area will be a permanent display. A special use permit will also be required for the above-ground fuel storage tanks. The property is located in a C1 commercial district. Anybody? Petrie?
Somebody has questions.
If you'd like to...
This is the site at Alco, which I believe is closing officially tomorrow.
I think today was the last day.
Today was the last day,
They're turning
so
their keys tomorrow.
the Planning Commission recommended approval of both permits. One is for the display area to be used in the parking lot, and the other is for the propane tank gas sales. So it's actually two separate permits.
Mr. Mayor, do you need a motion for approval?
And Mr. Williams
Not
can
yet.
certainly
Wait
answer
until
any
we close the
questions.
hearing.
Okay.
Then we'll do that. Anybody else want to make a comment?
Hi, I'm Steve Goldenberg. I'm with the ownership group, H&M Goldenberg 2, as well as the property management company, Golden Management. Really excited about this opportunity. Obviously, we were disappointed when we learned that Alco was going out of business, which in turn led to the St. Genevieve store closing, and when we found that Tractor Supply was interested in coming in town, we were thrilled. So this special use permit is a condition that they need in order to come to St. Gen, and we come before you optimistic that with your approval, we will immediately start working on a lease with them, and if all goes well, hopefully have their store open this summer.
This board, the citizens of St. Genevieve, and you would all like to see all of the spaces filled in the shopping center. Is there anything that the city can do that we're not doing to help you market your space?
Well, if I come up with any ideas, I will certainly pass them on. I know that, we've had some stores come in that have been not successful. For the majority of the stores that have been there for a long time, and they've been extremely successful. So it's certainly St. Genevieve is a place in which a retailer can have tremendous success. We have a couple other potential tenants that we're working with now, and we share your sentiments that we would also like to see no vacancies within the shopping center.
Thank you.
Thank
Any
you.
questions? So, that's 7:32, we'll close the public hearing, and now if I would, Tom, if you want to make that.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great, thank you, thanks for coming. Okay, minutes of the regular meeting of February the 12th.
Move approval.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And minutes of the closed session of February the 12th.
Make a motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Financial report for January.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Yes.
Mayor, can we at some time in the work session or something, discuss merchant's license and what they're charged to be in business?
Sure.
Yeah, I see some real discrepancies in some of these. Like I said, that's something we can do at a work session sometime.
Right, isn't it? Is that something that has to
In the code.
go before the vote?
It may have to go before the voters
Really?
tax.
But there are, and if we do, there's certainly some, they're old, and
Yeah.
there's some updating and some
Yeah.
additions and categories added and some things like that, so it can certainly be worth the work session to talk about.
Okay, good.
Resolution 2015-17, a resolution appointing Greg Hilbert to the St. Genevieve Heritage Commission.
Move approval. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Resolution 2015-18, a resolution appointing Frank Myers to the St. Genevieve Heritage Commission.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Resolution 2015-19, a resolution appointing Jamie Bowman to the St. Genevieve Heritage Commission.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And Resolution 2015-20, a resolution appointing Wayne Grusling to the St. Genevieve Heritage Commission.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Are there any openings on this board?
One more.
Okay.
Recommendation to be, well,
Wasn't Frank
I've seen
Wolf
one.
involved before in those?
And he
didn't want to?
He didn't want
Is there an aldermanic liaison on this board or not?
to. Yes, there is.
Teddy.
Teddy was.
I think you have to decide that still. I mean, because it's a new commission. I assume it would still
Right,
be Teddy.
yeah.
But I think you have to make that determination.
Okay.
I nominate Teddy.
Especially since he's not here.
Well, Teddy's gonna be off there real quick, so.
Okay, old business, bill number 4009, second reading.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement between the city of St. Genevieve and St. Genevieve County to assist in the funding and cooperation of the St. Genevieve County Recycling Center.
Motion to approve. Second.
Roll call.
Alderwoman Codwell.
Yes.
Alderman Couch.
Yes.
Alderman John Stupi.
Yes.
Alderman Jokers.
Yes.
Alderman Donnie Stupi.
Yes.
Alderman Hook.
Yes.
Alderman Prince.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no's, 1 absent. Bill number 4009 now becomes ordinance 3949.
Bill number 4010, second reading.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement between the city of St. Genevieve and St. Genevieve County regarding 911 dispatching services for the calendar year 2015.
Move approval.
Second.
Roll call.
Alderman Prince.
Yes.
Alderman Hook.
Yes.
Alderman Donnie Stupi.
Yes.
Alderman Jokers.
Yes.
Alderman John Stupi.
Yes.
Alderman Couch.
Yes.
Alderwoman Codwell.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no's, 1 absent. Bill number 4010 now becomes ordinance 3950.
Thank you. Bill number 4013, second reading.
We're gonna table that.
An ordinance approving a bid proposal from Flynn Drilling Company from Troy, Missouri for the installation of a turnkey, newly constructed alluvial public water supply well in an amount not to exceed $132,997.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Roll call.
Alderman Jokers.
Yes.
Alderman John Stupi.
Yes.
Alderman Donnie Stupi.
Yes.
Alderman Couch.
Yes.
Alderman Hook.
Yes.
Alderman Prince.
Yes.
Alderwoman Codwell.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no's, 1 absent. Bill number 4013 now becomes ordinance 3951.
Bill number 4014, second reading.
An ordinance recognizing the St. Genevieve Community Access Cable Board, approving its bylaws and setting forth its rights and obligations under the city's cable television franchise ordinance.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Alderwoman Codwell.
Yes.
Alderman Couch.
Yes.
Alderman John Stupi.
Yes.
Alderman Jokers.
Yes.
Alderman Donnie Stupi.
Yes.
Alderman Hook.
Yes.
Alderman Prince.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no's, 1 absent. Bill number 4014 now becomes ordinance 3952.
Bill number 4015, I would like to table for tonight.
I support that.
So, motion and a second one?
Second.
Okay, bill number 4015, been motion made to table it, table the first reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Bill number 4016, first reading.
An ordinance approving a budget amendment to the City of St. Genevieve fiscal year 2015 budget relating to the Valley Springs TIF Fund Budget Number 40.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Sorry, this is, these are housekeeping amendments.
Right.
Just to get our budget in line with the
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Bill number 4017, first reading.
An ordinance approving a budget amendment to the City of St. Genevieve fiscal year 2015 2015 budget relating to the general fund budget, administration number 10.
This is for the demolition cost.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Move for a second reading.
Second. Second?
Yeah.
All in favor of second reading of 4017?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, second reading, bill number 4017.
Question.
Martin, is there a time limit when they can get started on this, have they said?
We have the contract calls for them to begin 15 days after notice to proceed. They have 90 days to complete,
All right,
weather permitting, obviously.
right, okay, it's understandable.
So, a motion second on the second.
For the second.
Okay, roll call?
No, I haven't read it the second time.
Yeah.
Not ready yet.
I haven't read it.
Right.
Oh.
Go ahead and read it, Pam.
Go ahead.
An ordinance approving a budget amendment to the City of St. Genevieve fiscal year 2015 budget relating to the general fund budget, administration number 10.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, how about now?
Okay. Alderwoman Codwell.
Yes.
Alderman Couch.
Yes.
Alderman John Stupi.
Yes.
Alderman Jokers.
Yes.
Alderman Donnie Stupi.
Yes.
Did you say
Yes.
yes? I'm sorry. Alderman Hook.
Yes.
Alderman Prince.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no's, 1 absent. Bill number 4017 now becomes ordinance 3953.
Thank you. Bill number 4018, first reading.
An ordinance allowing that's supposed to be 2015 too, Show Me Green sales tax holiday to apply to the local sales taxes of the City of St. Genevieve, Missouri between April 19th and April 25th, 2015.
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Can we get a second reading on that?
Motion for a second reading. Second.
Okay, second reading, or all in favor of second reading of 4018?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, second reading, bill number 4018.
An ordinance allowing the 2015 Show Me Green sales tax holiday to apply to the local sales taxes of the City of St. Genevieve, Missouri between April 19th and April 25th, 2015.
Motion to approve. Second.
Alderman Prince.
Yes.
Alderman Hook.
Yes.
Alderman Donnie Stupi.
Yes.
Alderman Jokers.
Yes.
Alderman John Stupi.
Yes.
Alderman Couch.
Yes.
Alderwoman Codwell.
Yes.
7 yeses, 0 no's, 1 absent. Bill number 4018 now becomes ordinance 3954.
Thank you. Bill number 4019, first reading.
An ordinance of the City of St. Genevieve, Missouri authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with SR Dump Truck and Bobcat Work for the demolition of the houses located at 498 South 4th Street and 472 Merchant Street.
Move approval.
Second.
All in
One
favor?
amendment. I don't know, we have to point this out now. Under number 2, the contract price, the written out price, I believe, is incorrect. Should be
Yeah, that
100,
should be
not
100.
900.
Thank you, good catch.
Okay. All in favor of the first reading of bill number 4019 as amended?
Aye.
Opposed?
Move for a second reading.
Second.
All in favor of the second reading of bill number 4019?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, second reading, bill number 4019.
An ordinance of the City of St. Genevieve, Missouri authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with SR Dump Truck and Bobcat Work for the demolition of the houses located at 498 South 4th Street and 472 Merchant Street.
Move approval.
Second.
Roll call.
Alderman Jokers?
Yes.
Alderman John Stupi?
Yes.
Alderman Donnie Stupi?
Yes.
Alderman Prince?
Yes.
Alderman Hook?
Yes.
Alderwoman Codwell?
Yes.
Alderman Couch?
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no's, 1 absent. Bill number 4019 now becomes ordinance 3955.
Pam, where did 3953 go? What was that one?
47, bill number 4017.
Well, that was the second.
Bill number 4020, first reading.
An ordinance of the City of St. Genevieve, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the Community Center Foundation of St. Genevieve County, extending the final payment date on the TIP increment financing note to December 18, 2015.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Public comments? Kara Burt from Downtown Renewal, President of Downtown Renewal, would like to give a report to the board.
Evening. I sent you guys all an email last night. I just wanted to come in and kind of talk about what we've done this week. First, I want to report that we did have a very successful Chocolate Walk, as Sandra reported. Last year, we had 19 participants, and this year we had 33. And we doubled this ticket price this year and did pre-sale tickets, which we had not done in the past, and we sold 175 plus tickets pre-sale, which was pretty awesome. We ended up selling about 250 tickets altogether, including the day of sales tickets. So merchants all reported that they were very happy with the sales tickets, with the turnout. It was a pretty nasty day. The temperature was dropping that Saturday afternoon, so people came in early and got going pretty early, got their chocolates and got out of town. But the merchants reported they had good sales, and we'll look forward to growing this event next year and continuing it. Most of you guys know we had a day and a half training this week. I want to thank the mayor for attending that with us, and we had several other volunteers and board members who spent that time. The recommendation of the Missouri Main Street Connection, who is under the National Historic Trust and the National Main Street, certified, they come in and certify communities. Their recommendation is for us to apply for the affiliate grant. And so we are meeting together. We've got board meetings coming up at the 9th of March to talk about how we want to proceed. I just want you all to know that we are really pour some effort. It's really important for the city and for Downtown Renewal to be on the same page, and a collective effort on all of our parts to revitalize downtown. I think we've got some really great things going, and I feel like half of the work is done with us. We just need to realign our organization, make sure we're putting all 4 pillars into effect, and we're using all of them. So in order for us to apply for the affiliate grant, we would have to come up with $9,600 by July. So that's one of the things we're looking at. If we think that that's doable, if we think we can establish that, if that's something that we can go forth. In turn, then they come into our community for 2 years and work with us hands-on in the community to give us some support so that we can advance. This organization has been around for a long time, and they have not advanced because of different things, and people coming off the board and going off the board, and we just really need to work on our structure. And so we're asking for your support and your backing with that. We would also really like to just let you know, like Sandra said, we do have 4th Friday Art Walk tomorrow night, Mardi Gras theme. They are starting now. They'll be going on through November, the 4th Friday of every month. And we are working on the French Festival already. That's going in June. The committee has already met with that and making great strides to improve that event this year. And we're also working on a district-wide yard sale for April. So, any questions?
I just want to comment. Thank you for the invitation. I was really impressed with the enthusiasm that the board members that you had there had, and looking forward to what you can do. I think you can do some good things.
Yeah, I think it's a really great program if we can get it going. So,
thanks, Karen.
Good job, girl.
Anybody else? Yes, sir, Jerry.
Jerry Klein, 699 LaPorte. St. John. I'm taking it that it hasn't changed, a person still's got 5 minutes up here. I want, basically, and the reason I ask is because last meeting, my eyes were open to a couple of things that I didn't quite expect, and I just, one was the amount of second readings. I don't know if you guys realize that first readings sometimes kind of sends a signal out to the community, and a lot of times you hear about things after the first reading and before the second reading that may change your mind about certain things, or at least give a person a chance to get some input. Last week, I was just blindsided, and I noticed tonight we had a couple of 2 readings back to back or whatever. So I would remember, I know that it only takes one alderman to say no to a second reading, and that's something. And please don't take this that I'm grandstanding here, because I don't want it to be. I'm really looking at the community, and I think there's a lot of things out there that people would like to feed into the city and get some information. And the 2 weeks between meetings, I think, is helpful to get that feedback. My reason for coming up tonight was to ask how much in terms of TIF money. I know the shopping center, and I know Steve was here tonight. I hadn't seen him for a long time, but the TIF will expire, and we will start getting sales tax money. How much do we anticipate in city dollars that we will see come into the city coffers?
Yeah, yes.
I think that the TIF generates for the city about $225,000, $250,000 a year. Totally, that's sales tax and property tax. That's deferred to the TIF. So.
Okay. And we have not been receiving that because of the TIF, right? And that goes along with my question standing here 2 weeks ago. On the Yanks Field, I always felt that was a city asset. I knew that years ago, the citizens of St. Genevieve, and I don't know if it's still part of our sales tax or not, but there was a 0.5-cent sales tax passed years ago. Is that still part of our tax? So that money has been coming in to support parks is basically what it was funded for.
And it all goes to parks. And it pays about 50% of our total budget for parks.
Yeah, I'm not going to get in.
Sales tax for parks?
Park tax is the money,
I think isn't that on the real estate though, isn't it? Yeah, I think the park tax is actually is on your real estate tax. I don't know that is there part of the sales tax that goes towards parks?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think.
I think you should check. I think that's a 0.5-cent sales tax on the park. Buck would be one to remember, because I would that's the way I recall it. But that warrants checking into, because that to me, when I consider that we've done away with the pool, we've done away, the tennis courts are in bad shape. I don't think the lights work, or they haven't worked for a long time that I know of. I know that Gump put in a park years ago. I know that over in my area by the creek, they put in a park. So I realize there's been some improvements, but to me, when I read the minutes and said that we're tax dollars are being saved, it didn't occur to me that we pay taxes to the school, we pay taxes to the city. We're paying taxes either way for the ball fields, but we have an asset. We had an asset in the field, and to my thinking, that asset, are we receiving any compensation other than just not having to do maintenance on it?
That's right. And we do. I will say, just getting back to the tax, ever since I've been there, the city has had to supplement the parks out of general revenue. The taxes that are generated, whether it is sales tax or property taxes, to support the park system in St. Genevieve has always been supplemented by general revenue funds. So,
and Dick, the general revenue funds for the park were always part of it. The sales tax was added because what it was the city wanted, or the community wanted to do that to the parks, to add to the general revenue. But right after it was passed,
Now,
we,
you might be thinking of the community center. There was a
No.
there was a tax for the community center that was passed.
Sure, I don't think we
Countywide.
have a
We're
sales
over on
tax. for the
time
park
significantly.
Not a
Ah.
sales tax. I don't know that there was,
we don't
we'll
have
check,
sales.
we'll check it out,
Please.
certainly. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lynn.
okay.
Anybody else? Okay,
Motion to go
any
into
other
closed session.
business?
Oh, that closes this meeting, correct.
No other business, okay, if we could, we have a short closed session.
Personnel.
Deal with personnel?
Need a motion to adjourn?
No.
Or motion to go into closed session? I'd make a motion to go into closed session.
Second.
Alderwoman Codwell?
Yes.
Alderman Couch?
Yes.
Alderman John Stupi?
Yes.
Alderman Jokers?
Yes.
Alderman Donnie Stupi?
Yes.
Alderman Hook?
Yes.
Alderman Prince?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Hey, just take a short break.